Right, people, we're back again. So my internet was last time. It wasn't. It was me sort of blaming Frank, asking Frank because I thought he was intermittent. It weren't. It was me. It was all on me. My shitty Spanish internet. Anyway, we're on. So let me just put up all the bits and pieces again. So welcome back to What West Ham channel. That West Ham. Go round two. We'll have another crack at this. I'm hoping Frank, when I bring Frank on, he'll let me know if in fact, Frank, you're in the background. Thumbs up or thumbs down if currently my sound is intermittent or not. Is it coming through clearly at the moment, or am I still all the time? Thumbs up for good and thumbs down for not so good. Oh, it's mediocre. What is going on, people? That is really frustrating. Right. Let me bring Frank in anyway and see how we get on. Hello, mate.
Hello. How you doing?
It's going through clearly now. So that's at least is good. Am I still breaking though, in and out?
Yeah, a little bit, but I can get what you're saying.
Oh, that's a bollocks, that is. That's a real pain in the ass. Right. Right. Well, listen, mate, we'll give anyway, people, if you're listening, just put the comments on. Massive apologies, people. I don't know why the internet, my end, is being to shit at the moment. But I will try and work with it.
If it's easier, I can just call you on WhatsApp and talk like we did last week.
I wonder if that's the effect. I wonder if that's affecting the connection. I'll tell you what to do. Let's give that a crack, right? And then, because I know hopefully we'll get Stuart will be in the chat hopefully soon, and he can let me know if it's still up, mate. And then also you can let me know from listening in if it's my internet or not. Is that all right? Yeah. Nice one, fella. Right, I'll take you out and yeah, give us a shout. Phone's at the ready, mate. So yeah, apologies about this, people. Clear with occasional from Frog. Well, today's we'll see what happens now that Frank's dropped out to see if that makes any difference. The number is going across the screen at the bottom, people. So call in and have your say, please do. But yeah, as I was saying the other at the start, the whole Aguerd thing, bringing him back, Nath. Let's bring in. Hello, Frank. All good. Let me put you on speaker so that. Frog, can you do me a favour, mate? Well, I'm going to ask Frank to give his take on this, and if you can let me know if he's coming through clearly. So, take on bringing Nath Aguerd back. I mean, well, first of all, was you aware of, or have you been aware at all of any of his for Real Sociedad?
I've only been aware of them through West Ham fans that were saying, "How come we've got Dino when Aguerd's doing this well?" That kind of thing. I don't follow Real Sociedad. I mean, it's hard enough to follow West Ham at 1 o'clock in the morning. But I mean, I can't see why we couldn't bring him back at least to start, or at least for some depth. You know, as I said last week, I'm not that keen on getting rid of Dino. I think he's a good 70, 75 minute, so give some people a rest. I don't think he should be starting. I understand why people are sick of him, so I don't think he should be starting. But yeah, I'd be happy to bring him back, Mike. How does Aguerd feel about coming back? Because if he's doing so well in Real Sociedad, kind of why come back to West Ham at the moment? I know he's on loan and he'd have to come back, but at the end of summer, would he just leave again?
Well, it's a good point, because obviously if a happy player is a better player. If you're feeling you are playing football, you play better football. It is as simple as that. I would think, and it is, again, I've got nothing to gauge this on other than well, how would I feel? Like he moved to England. When he first came in, he done some good stuff. We was and then he hit a bit of a bad patch. However, as was pointed out, the type of football we was playing at that point, having him under the cosh, in fact, having our whole defence under the cosh pretty much for 90 minutes, because that's like that low block. That's basically what we did. We invited teams on. Then obviously his confidence dipped. It type of football he was used to playing. And if you look at some of his, even because online you can, I mean, his stats for Real Sociedad are brilliant. You can also find like some of the clips and highlights of the games, and the type of football they play and the type of football he's playing there, that's the type of football that suits him. And yes, the under Potter, seeing the thing is, at the minute we've only really got that last match to go off, because I'm talking about bringing him back for these purposes, because I see him, whether you're putting Kilman in the centre and him on the left, or him in the centre and Kilman on the left, and actually having that flexibility and fluidity of both of them, you know, even taking turns in matches of doing, you know, switching between that centre and left role. I think with the potential of having Toddy on the right and them two left footers, we've got a really powerful playing, pacey back line that are also all big lumps and units. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Where does all of that then as well?
Well, this is where Ollie Scholes, for me, you'd have him where you had him the other day, where he excelled, which is in that left wing back. He was absolutely immense in that position the other day. I heard a really interesting statistic. He's the to have he's matched. There's only one other player, one other defender that completed 6 interceptions in one match. Like his statistics are fantastic, and that's not just bigging him up because he's a kid. We're talking as good as any other defender, basically, regardless of age or experience. So the thing is, with the youth coming in, football's changed, it's evolved, and from what I'm hearing of how the youth setup he's been playing throughout under Noble as well, he's really pushing for this, you know, West Ham way playing academy football, which is something we've always had. I think the players coming through to Declan Rice as well, the way these youngsters are now reading the game, and obviously the technician side of football with youngsters is much more than it used to be, especially as defenders. You know, when we were young, it was if in doubt, get it out. Like you clump someone, you got the ball out of the pitch. That was your job. Whereas now, you're seen to be, you know, in fact, wing backs, I'd say in the Premier League, they're as important on the pitch. Do you reckon?
I mean, look at Trent. Trent is half of Liverpool's offense. So yeah, that's pretty much right, I'd say. It's
bang on, mate. And there's so many examples. I mean, I look at on the other side of the pitch as well, AWB, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I mean, what you were saying this when it all went wrong on the first attempt of this, but you were saying that what a snip. It's got to be signing of the season.
I think it'd be pretty high. It's kind of hard to call anybody signing of the season when we're 16th, but for West Ham, definitely signing of the season. But, you know, when you think of when we've had Emerson in that role and then we've had Soufal in that role, having somebody like a Scholes and an AWB is such an improvement that hopefully should set us up for the long run. In terms of Aguerd, I'd be happy to have him back. But then I guess if we're having 3 at the back and 2 wing backs, do we drop somebody field? Is that what you're thinking? Instead of the kind of 3 midfielders, move one of them down? Is that what you're thinking with that?
Well, if you think how we lined the other day, we had 3 at the back, as you know. We had then obviously we had our 2 wing backs, and this is where we're moving on to what what's the right word? I tolerated the other day, but if we're going to move forward, we cannot have Perez, Souček, and JWP because that was our starting 3 in the middle the other day. Now that don't get me wrong, they fantastic. The performance the other day was a team performance, and it wasn't. We didn't shithouse that win. We was good for that win the other day. They might always going to be the case with Arsenal. They was always going to have a lot more possession than West Ham. However, what we did do, and I said this on the picked up on this, is we were so much more confident passing out from the back under tight situations, being pressured, and actually a lot of credit for the stuff he was doing, because he can really pass the ball. And he's not the quick. His passing ability and one-touch passing is really, really good as well. And I think if we're going to move forward with join, hello Paul, I'll bring you on in a sec, Paul. If we're going to move forward, we can't have, for me, well, when I say if we're going to move forward, if that centre three of Alvarez, JWP and Souček, that is not part of progression. That's not what that is at the minute, keeping us sort of where we are. So moving forward, obviously we don't know what's going to happen with Paqueta yet, because that, I mean, apparently find out over the next, I think by the 20th of March, they're saying we'll know either way what's going on there. So we won't know if he's going to be taking consideration. But with the likes now of Jimmy, once he gets fit again, he'll be then, you know, pushing for that starting spot as well. You got Kudus, you got Bowen, you got Soler. You also then now we've got Evans as well. We're in a better position, fully fit. We're definitely too good as a squad to be starting with Souček, Alvarez, and JWP in the middle. Frank, what I'm just going to do quickly, I'm just going to bring Paul on. Bear with me 2 secs. Hello, Paul.
G'day, Jay. How you going, mate?
Really good, mate. Really good. Paul, just out of curiosity, when you were sitting in the waiting area, intermittent or was it pretty clear?
I got most of it, Jay. Yeah.
So most of it. So it's still a little bit intermittent.
Yeah.
Frank, I don't know if you can hear Paul, but Paul, Frank,
Yeah,
Frank, Paul, you can. Fantastic.
G'day, Frank.
Paul, first and foremost, mate, your take on before we get onto the Aguerd thing, but if you want to give your sort of summary synopsis of the Arsenal game.
It was fantastic, wasn't it? Loved it. Loved every minute of it. I think after the first 15 minutes, I thought we can get something out of this game. And it looked like Wan-Bissaka and Bowen was going to be the route to the goal, and sure enough, it was eventually, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One stat I saw during the week was Ollie Scholes. He's the first defender in the Premier League in the last 5 or 6 years to make 6 tackles and 6 interceptions as a defender in a game. There was an amazing stat. You know, stats are great, but he played well, and we all thought he played well. I think he only got beaten once. But when I saw the stats, I thought, yeah, that sums up how he played, because I think 2016, or whatever it was, a defender from Leicester has done. This is the only time somebody's done better than Ollie Scholes. Amazing.
Brilliant.
Yeah, loved every minute. It was worth staying up till 1 o'clock to watch it. I'm sure Frank would agree.
He chuckled, so I think there's the agreement there. Mate, no, I'm with you 100%. It's wonderful to see the fact that, you know, I mean, now, as far as I'm concerned, Scholes is a starter. Like, he has to be starting now over Emerson as well.
Yeah, I think what's happening is that they're using Creswell as the left back to mentor Scholes slightly forward. I think it's working really well. Which I think leads on to your question: should we get Aguerd back?
Yeah. What's your take?
My take, maybe if you'd asked me the question 3 months ago, I would have said no. But now I can see what Potter's doing. He wants to play a back 3, back 5, wing backs. Creswell's probably going to be finished by the end of the season, and he would have mentored Scholes to be in that role slightly forward. So Aguerd as a Creswell replacement, yeah, I think we're going to be playing as a back 3, so I think it's a good idea. We've already got Todibo and Kilman in the middle for the corners and the high balls. I just don't think Aguerd does very well with the high balls, but he's not going to be needed. Bang on.
And it's what Aguerd does on what he's capable of doing on the floor.
Yeah.
His passing, his range of, I'd say, don't get me wrong, Toddy's got a good pass, Kilman's got a good pass, but neither of them are as good with as Aguerd. He's got, do you remember when we had Craig Dawson and he used to ping those balls?
Love Ballon Dawson.
Yeah, he used to ping those balls. You used to think, fucking hell, where's he pulled that one out of? Well,
Yeah.
Aguerd's got that in the locker as well, and he's quick. So as I was saying, Paul, I don't know if you were when I joined, the prospect of Kilman, Aguerd, and Toddy, they're all ball defenders, they're all big units, they're all quick, they can all pass. I'd say, again, arguably, we would have as strong as pretty much anyone else in the league with them three playing on form.
Yeah. It's really, as you said, the next set of positions, the central midfield positions that are, it's an area where we need to improve, isn't it, really?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Got Frank, sort of bringing you in, because Paul can hear you as well. What would, if let's just say that in this fictional world of where them three at the back, obviously Aguerd left hand side, we've got Scarles on the left wing back, we've got AWB on the right wing back, which I don't think is in contention. I think everyone would agree to see them too. Moving forward, starting with you, Frank, how would you fill out the rest of the field players?
Well, I feel weird because I feel like we've had a midfield three for so long, but I would actually get three, put Somerville on the left. Somerville on the left, Kurdos on the right, Bowen up the middle, and then just Soler, JWP, Socek, and either Alvarez or one of the other guys. I think we have Somerville is such a good player, such a good kid. We need him on the field, and Kudos, and you obviously can't drop Bowen. I would honestly be starting to think about life without Paquetá, so I wouldn't worry about putting him on the field. Who else have we got on our lineup that could possibly get in? Can come in for Bowen if.
Good shout. Paul, how would you? So with that back five, what's your thought?
Yeah. I'm already thinking to next season, Jay, and I'm thinking Freddie Potts coming back and partnering up with Alvarez. Unfortunately, that means selling Souček, but I'm not a big fan. Soler, I don't think next season. I don't think he's staying. I don't think we can afford $200,000 a week for him, so he's not going to get signed. So we've got to look at, say, Potts and Alvarez, Somerville. We've already mentioned Scarles, Somerville, Bowen, Kudus, and life without Paquetá, perhaps, and a number 9. It gives room for a number 9 with Kudus and Bowen just behind, left and right, or centrally, really, playing as 2 number 10s.
Great shout.
Yeah, 2 number 10s.
My pitching would be actually, now you've chucked his name out there, if we're talking for next season, the idea of having Potts, that is dynamite. Because I think, well, do you know what? This is how I'd pitch it. I would discuss, and then I would have Alvarez on his own in CDM because he's got 3 CDM anyway. I'd have Alvarez on his own. I'd then have Jimmy on the left, Kudos in front of him, Bowen on Evans in front, and that would be my starting 11 because I feel personally Alvarez done his best work when he came under Moyes, when he was on his own as CDM. And I often feel that when Souček's there, a lot of the time players are worried about, is Souček going to lose the ball? Like, you have to take his incapabilities into consideration. And I think a lot of the time Alvarez, I think he stifles Alvarez's game. I think if you have Alvarez, and like I say, bearing in mind he's sitting in front of 3 big lumps. So when he does that, he can still drop off, because you've got to bear in mind, Kilman, Todibo, and Aguerd, they can all and drive forward with the ball as well. And if any of them do, you've got Alvarez to drop back in to fill that gap and come back in. And then it just opens up such a fluid potential of football with West Ham. And for me, with Jimmy, Kudus, Jimmy, like I said, Jimmy on that sort of number 10 and Bowen on the right. And of course, all three of them can switch, and then Evans in front. We've got pace going forward as well. So I think, well, we've got the creativity. As you said, Frank, we've got to start thinking of life without Paqueta now, because there is a strong potential that that's the way things are going. But I tell you what, I'm not seeing a big miss for Paqueta if we're starting with that sort of a team. Do you know?
Yeah, and also you mentioned Paul, we don't have the money for Soler, but I think there's a lot of dead weight that needs to go in the summer too. Like, he's still in our club. Full crew can go as well. Who else could go? We've also got Paqueta can go. Could be enough money freed up to keep Soler around at least, so that could be somebody else that we add in the midfield too.
Paul?
Yeah. Look, he's a good player. I just don't think West Ham are going to pay $200 a week, Frank. You know, it'll break the salary cap in inverted commas that we have. But you know, if we can get him for $120 a week, maybe. But I don't think Sullivan's going to pay $200 a week, because then you'll have other players wanting wage rises, and suddenly we're PSR through the roof. But we need somebody creative like Soler anyway, I think, in the midfield. You're absolutely right. Potts is more of a defensive midfield.
Oh, Paul, we lost you. Or is it just... Can you hear Paul, Frank? Or have we lost him?
No, he's gone. Potts is more of a defensive midfielder, whereas Soler's a bit more attacking, so maybe we need that kind of balance. But yeah, if it's $200K a week, maybe Sullivan won't pay that. But I mean, you know, we've also got Antonio still in our squad. He can go. Paul Krug, Evans only a loan, so who knows? Sullivan could turn around and say, "Fuck all of you," and keep the same. You know.
I mean, maybe we'll go in for Angel Gomez from Lille.
Good player.
Yeah,
that'd be solid.
He could be that creative midfielder that we need.
Because I think all three of us will. I think we'll a creative set of legs in the middle of the park. Like, we're crying out for it. I mean, we've been exposed up until that every other game. We might have had a good half in certain games, but every other game, what has been glaringly obvious and not very easy to overcome for other teams is the fact that we've got nothing in the middle of the park, nothing at all. And I've always said, and what Brentford did, they sat back and they let Souček and Alvarez and that move up. And as soon as they'd press us high at that, they get the ball back. Just ping it back over the top, because if you've got them, they can't run back. So they know that's all they did. I was sitting there literally praying for Souček to stand on his own ball bag and get fucking taken off, because it was killing me watching that game and the way we played. It was shocking that Potter even left it go that long before changing it, you know. But moving forward, because I don't want to get stuck on the Souček thing, at the minute, with everyone coming back, you know, I feel a lot more positive in the direction at the moment.
Yeah, I feel positive about it. I mean, with Potter in charge, better than the end of Moyes and Lop, so can't disagree with that, really.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And it's just acknowledge a few people in the chat. Hello, everyone in the chat. Thanks very much. Any questions in the chat or comments, please let me know. And I think a couple of people have. I mean, this comment from Gary. Hello, Gary Brock. Shout out to you, brother. Souček has to be a bit part player from the bench. Good in both and in the rest of the pitch. That is it. For me, if you're going to keep Souček, he is the guy that, right, we're 1-0 down. Like, it's coming or so, right. Stick him on and just stick him, then play the long ball. Like, stick him up front, like with whoever, and just say, right, just try and flick the. Don't try and control it. Don't try and pass it. Don't try and be creative. Just get your head on it. Try and nut it down, or get in the box and try, because Souček is very good at finishing.
He had 2 chances against Arsenal, didn't he, on the weekend? He had 2 good chances with his
He
head
did.
and missed both.
Yeah. And that second header, Paul, that was a sitter for him. That was
Oh,
an
yeah,
absolute
second
sitter.
one. Second one, yeah. Yeah. But I think
But sort
it's
of
all very
sorry,
positive
go
for
on, Paul.
next season, Jay. You know, it's all very positive. We don't need to buy as many players as people think. You know, it might be 4 or 5 players. You've potentially got Orford who could come in or could go out on loan. You know, he's a creative player. He's a good passer of the ball. I'd like to see some of the young players get more involved, I think.
Mate,
We can do it.
Absolutely. That, Paul, for me is where I feel what Scholes is currently doing. Not only is he building up his own confidence, not only is he maturing, but he'll be sending a message. The other youth players will be looking at Scholes and going, yes, right, that's it. I'm ready. Like, give me my chance now. Because they'll have seen finally a pathway to the first team, because Deck was the last one really to come through the academy and smash it. Johnson, he did okay. I think a bit unfairly treated. He never really got a position to nail down Johnson. He was a bit of a utility, and he's ended up going out to Ipswich and not really pulling any trees up there. But with the likes of Scholes coming in, like you said, Alford's had a little bit of a run. I think if he can get a bit more game time, he's a creative midfielder, as you said. That's what he does. So maybe under the tutelage of having a JWP around him through games, because what I do think Cresswell was done well for Scholes, and I really noticed this against Arsenal. Cresswell was meant through the game, and I think that's amazing, because what Cresswell lacked in legs, he almost had Scholes there to help cover for that. Cresswell didn't have to do much, to be honest. But as you said, Scholes was putting in all the work, all the interceptions, all the challenges, and there to sort of guide him along. And that reminded me of when Noble and Deck was in midfield, and Noble would be mentoring him through the games.
Yeah. No, that's good, Jay. I'm going to let you go. Sorry if there's been a lot of background noise. I just made it to the hotel here in Sydney. But I'll see you both next week.
Nice one. Thanks for joining,
Thanks,
Paul.
Jay.
Have a good one,
Thank you
mate.
very much, mate. See you, Frank.
Take care, brother.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah. But mate, that sort of back to the where we started with the show. I am, and again, I'm going to shout at Damien Marco for bringing this up. The thought of having that back three with Scholes on the more I'm thinking about, with Scholes on the left and Aguerd, Kilman and Tadibo, I really think we'll stop leaking as many goals, because mate, our goal, I think we're minus 17? I think we're minus 17 still on goal difference. So that is shit.
Pull up on my computer.
But Gary Brock as well, your comment here, think we've got to expect no Kudus and Pac-Man next season. So Gomez and David, yeah, good replacements. Give Cresswell another year. Do you know what, mate? If we don't get Aguerd in, if we don't take, and this is for me a brainer, because Aguerd is on loan, so he is our player. If we're thinking about going down this back three route, then surely it's got to be Cresswell out and Aguerd in. Hello, mate. What's your thoughts on this one?
What, on Aguerd?
Yeah.
I'll bring him back, mate, in the summer. I think he'd play well under Potter. Tadibo on the right, Kilman in the centre, and Aguerd on the left is your back three. And I think they would be a solid back three for us. Like you say, with AWB as right wing back and Scholes as a left wing back, I think them five would work really well. And you need, like you said earlier, Alvarez just sitting in the CDM role on his own, because he works so much better on his own. He can't work with a partner. If he's got a partner, he's all over the place. Like, play him on his own. And I think we'd do really well. I really do think we'd do well.
I'm glad that you said that, because...
Sorry, I mean, I like Cresswell, but Cresswell's going, you know, his legs are gone. But like you say, Scholes is his legs at the moment. But we need somebody to come in and take over that left centre-back spot. And I think Aguerd would work under Potter, providing Aguerd wants to come back to West Ham. That's all down to that, isn't it?
That would be down to his choice. Sorry, Matt. I was just saying. Just want to say thank you, Frank, for coming on. Thank you, Paul, for coming on as well. Thanks, lads. Good to have you Aussies on and have your say. Yeah, that's the thing, Stu. To your point with, I would hope that he'd feel like, do you know what? Let me go back and prove a point. Like, let me show him. You'd hope that. I don't know that would be the case. You know, because in fairness, the wages he's on at West Ham, he's not going to get moving on. He won't get that in Spain. They don't pay, see what we pay. And it, you know, other than that, I watched interviews with him and his family. They was all quite happy. There was, you know, it was just, for me, it was the Moyes ball that killed Aguerd, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. You know, playing that defensive football like that, that's not his trait, you know. And being in the back three, he's got a good passing range on him. He can move forward with the ball if need be, you know. So I think he would work under Potter. I really do, because I mean, you know, he showed signs of it. He showed signs of it when we first got him. You know how good he could be, and then he was just ruined.
Absolutely, mate. When he first came in, he was playing how he played naturally, but then you could see he was getting told, "No, don't do it." Like, and then all you saw him do. Number one, the best attributes of his game, he was clearly being told, "No, don't do that," because he's someone as well. He'll pick. Not only can he ping a 60-yard pass on a sixpence, but he can run with the ball. He can drive through with the ball. He can split, you know, Kilman and Toddy, who are also both capable of driving the ball. Mate, I just think we've got this new powerful fucking back three that tick all the be a successful Premier League centre-back three, like, force going forward. And as you've said, Alvarez absolutely does his best work on his own. You put anyone with him and they get in his way. That's how I've always seen it.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he just does need to be on his own. Because we got to look past the Paqueta thing now, because I think Paqueta's all but done, I think, at West Ham. I mean, I'll just before you come back on, I started watching Hammers Jack Gonzo, and the FA are bringing Paqueta up on the 20th of March on a hearing. Whether Paqueta has to attend or not, I don't know, but from what Gonzo was saying, it looks like it's going to be a stitch up from the FA. So we might only have Paqueta up until the 20th of March, and then he's going to be done. So we've got to look past Paqueta and forget Paqueta in the reckoning now. You know, we can't count him in at all anymore, unfortunately, which is a shame, because when he's on form, he's the nuts, you know. And
absolutely,
we need to keep hold of Kudus. We need to keep hold of Kudus. And the only way to keep hold of Kudus is by showing him that we are going to push and move forward. Otherwise, he's going to want to be off in the summer.
Bang on, mate. Take a couple of messages from people in the chat. Frog in the well. Fulkrug needs to start earning his keep sooner, move on. I genuinely just think that this weren't a good move for Fulkrug. It weren't a good move for West Ham. It weren't a good move for Fulkrug. So with Evans in, don't get me wrong, I would love to see him given a go to see, because we ain't had the chance. But that last injury, coupled with the fact that we know he's got a long resume of injuries that keep him out for a long time, plus his age, for me, that was a no-starter from the beginning. Is what it is. Just want to pick up on what Gary said. JWP, mate, I think he's done more, Gal, than okay. Like, I think what he's done, he's come in and he ain't got legs. He's got a bit more legs than Souček in regards to pace. But what he has definitely got, he can control the ball. And in the middle of the park, we ain't had that. And it sounds ridiculous to even say that. You know, something so glaringly obvious as if that's the best. But when you ain't got your basics, you're in trouble. And we've not had that basic in the middle of the park for a long time. Frank said, look at how we love Pack and he Rick's kicked out now, same as Pip. Brilliant. Yeah, I think the Paqueta thing, mate, as you've just been saying, Stu, is the problem there is all the stuff off the pitch.
Yeah.
And that's ruined him.
Yeah.
It's completely ruined him. And we've got to, as a club, regardless of how good he is, we've got to start moving forward. Sheriff, good to see you.
I've got to agree with what Sheriff says there. I think Kudus was flashing his knickers at Arsenal at the weekend. I really do. That's why he put in that performance. He was not just Arsenal, but he was flashing his knickers to anybody saying, come and get me. I really do.
Bang on, mate. Bang on. Bang on. Keith, shout out to you, mate. I see you jump on, Keith, and you jumped off again. You're welcome to jump on. We're probably going for another 10 minutes or so, mate, or maybe a little bit longer. Potter will know what to expect from players staying or leaving in the summer. He'll have that in mind during the rest of You'd hope so. And as he was on, the fact that we now seem to have a manager that is willing to start looking at the academy and start bringing players through, it makes the fucking rebuild, as everyone keeps calling it, it makes the rebuild less pressured because we've got, look, Stu, him the other day, bro, everything the kid done, it was just like proper, wasn't it? You just, everything he done, you thought. One thing with Skulls, the last bit to really put the icing on the cake is just a little bit stronger. Not in the tackle. He gets stuck in well, but as in a couple of times, Arsenal's, is it Iwengi? Their youngish player. I feel a couple of times for body weight, Skulls was a little bit timid. And I think if he can just get that into his game as well, just that slight bit more beef, I think we're looking at a player who's we've got a good forward coming through as well. That Ajala playing for the quality
under 21s. He scored again the other day, and he's scored 15 goals so far this season. He just needs to bulk up a bit, and I think he'll be ready to have some game time, some minutes, because we need we need our own striker coming through. Because I don't think Ferguson's going to stay with us. I think come the summer he'll be back at Brighton. I don't think he's not going to stay with. And we need a decent striker. And Fulkruger's done. I don't think he's never going to play proper. We need to bring one of our own through. And that Ajala, I think he's the dog's nuts, mate. He's mustard. We need to bring one of our own through.
I'd love to. Oh, Keith, are you there, mate? Keith? Keith? Keith, are you there, mate? Can you hear me?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can't.
Can you not hear me?
We can hear you now, Keith.
Can you not hear me?
He's got his camera switched
Keith,
off.
You need to turn.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with my camera. I can't get my camera working.
Turn YouTube off as well, Keith. You need to switch your YouTube off because there'll be a delay and an echo. It'll affect your connection. So, Keith, switch YouTube off and rejoin, Keith. Keith, I know you can hear me. Switch you, then rejoin. Just quickly, Stu, with that back three of, again, this is fictional world of having Aguerd Aguerd, Kilman, Toddy, Styles on the left, and AWB on the right. Who would your front of them be?
Well, in the middle or up the front? Because I'd like to see.
Starting off, so that's the back five sorted.
Yeah.
Would play five players in front of them. So first of all,
Alvarez, number 6, and then across the three, I'd have Somerville on the left, Bowen on the right.
Yeah.
Kudus as a number 10, providing he stays, and I'd play Kudus as a number 10. And the striker option, this is what I say, we need our own striker because Ferguson ain't going to be there next year. He's not going to be here. So if we don't buy someone, he's going to have to try and bring someone through there, as Frogs just put up, Ajala. That boy is, I think he could really do the job for us. He just needs to bulk up a bit, and he ain't going to bulk up unless he's playing men's football. Playing boys' football, he's not going to bulk up.
Bang on, mate. And as I was saying before, I reckon Stu as well, I bring Keith in. When these youth are seeing the likes of Skulls cement his place, people like Ajala, they're going to have more confidence coming in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In their mates, like you're in there as well. You can imagine what they're
Alford
like.
Alford played well as well the other night again. He played well for the under-21s again. You know, it's a shame. In some respects, it's a shame JWP come back, because the second JWP come back, I knew Alford was going to be dropped. And that's a shame that Alford was dropped for James Ward-Prowse, because I think Alford could
Bang
do
on, mate. Bang on. Keith, are you there now, mate? Keith? You're on mute, Keith. You need to unmute yourself. Press Keith. Stay away from the light, Keith.
Technology.
Ajala's goal the other night. Keith, you're still on mute, by the way. You're on as soon as you're on mute, we'll be able to hear you. I ain't seen Ajala. Have you seen that, Stu? The one that Frogs just mentioned?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I watched the game. I watched a lot of the under-21s and under-18s. They're better watched than the main
team. You get them on YouTube, can't you?
Yeah. They're live most times on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, that Stephen Langham, shout out to you, mate. That Mateta as well. Yeah, that's what I mean. We've got good players in our youth.
Yeah. Now Mateta's at Palace, isn't he?
Indeed. Keith, mate, I don't know, but I can't. Yeah, you're still. Oh, no.
I can hear
you're in.
You can hear him.
I can hear about 600 voices.
He's getting an echo.
Do you know what it is, Keith? I think for some reason that's the software I use. My internet, I've checked, is bang on, but for some reason my StreamYard software is not working well with it, which is why it's been today. Are you there now, Keith? No, it's not having it. It's terrible. Right.
It could also be
Keith,
over
I'm going to have
here,
to take you off for now, mate. We'll get it sorted out. But
by
the way, people, there'll be another one of these.
The weather's crap over here.
Could be.
So it could be that's causing it.
Could be, but I need to get this sorted out because it's not good enough having it like this. But we're playing tonight, aren't we? We're playing tonight, don't we?
No, Thursday. It's the Spuds playing tonight, aren't they? It's Thursday.
We're Thursday night. We're Thursday night, right? Got you. I think someone in the chat just put tonight. Yeah. Chances of us beating Leicester. Frank Kingston, shout out to you, Frank, mate. Thank you again for being coming on. I reckon we'll do Leicester. What do you reckon, Stu?
Yeah, but we shouldn't take it for granted. We've got to go out and play like we did against the Gooners, and then we will. We're doing quite comfortably. But if we go out there with the attitude, it's only Leicester, then Leicester could hurt us because they can play some nice football. And Vardy might be getting on, he's got to be marshalled. He's got to have somebody on him.
Yeah, bang on. Mate, bang on. Stu, what I'm going to do, mate, because it's my end is getting worse now with the intermittents. I'm going to wrap this one up, mate. Thanks for.
That's what I was only going to jump on for a couple of minutes.
Friday there'll be Hammers Down Under. No, mate, it's always great to have you on. I want you to have you on every time, bro. Friday there will be Hammers Down Under, people. I'm not going to do the closeout today about my safe space because the internet is terrible. So what I would say is, please have a fantastic day. Like, really choose to. We're all West Ham, but outside of being a West Ham fan, you're a human being that has feelings, and I would strongly recommend that you start choosing good in yourself because it does a huge difference in your life. So be safe. Actually, I'm going to ask Stuart because he's got the best clothes ever. Stu, can you close off with what you normally say, please?
Take care, stay safe, and stay lucky, my friends.
Nice one. Go Lions! Have a good day, people. And everyone in chat. Have a